Hello! I've decided I'm going to read you a story today. I know you've had a lovely time in school and at home, and you've listened to Mrs. Pugh Jones reading you stories, and Mrs. Clark has read you stories, and Mrs. Davis has read you stories. But I really like reading stories too, because reading stories is really good fun, and books are cool. And we know at Wincham that books are really, really cool. So I thought I would read you a story. If you're lucky, I might read you more than one. Right, let's have a look at the book that we're going to read today. Here we go. It's by David Walliams. It's called There's a Snake in My School. Oh my word, there's a snake in the school. Don't worry, everybody in school is safe. There isn't really a snake at Wincham. Let's have a look. David Walliams presents There's a Snake in My School. There's Miss Bloat. It says it's illustrated by Tony Ross. So let's have a read of the story. Here's David and Bert. Here's Tony and his cat Stanley. Now, look over at this side. Mr. Bright had told all the children in his class it was Bring Your Pet to School Day. Everyone rushed into the playground to meet the animals. There was a stupidly cute gerbil, a tiny goldfish, a fat cat. It's so fat he's actually in a wheelbarrow. A 100-year-old tortoise and a tall dog. Tortoises live to be a really, really long old age. And some tortoises will live to be over 100 years old. It's amazing, isn't it? Last to arrive, as usual, was a little girl called Miranda. She was riding on the back of an enormous, slithery snake. Meet Penelope, my pet python, announced Miranda. On seeing the snake, the other children screamed, "Ah!" Just like that. Miranda loved being different. She always stood out at school with her individual take on school uniform, with her cool red socks and stripy tights, her cartwheels down the corridors. Please don't do that, children. And her funny answers in class. What ended in 1945? 1944. A python is a rather unusual pet, but Miranda and Penelope had so much fun playing together. For the little girl, the snake would pretend to be a scarf wrapped around her neck, a hula hoop that she can hula hoop with, a balloon. Oh, imagine blowing up a snake. Can't think about that. A telescope, and a trombone. And sometimes when they were both feeling particularly mischievous, a third arm. Oh my word, a third arm. What would you do if you had a third arm? Imagine. You could pat your head like that, rub your tummy, and scratch your nose at the same time. That'd be amazing. Come and give her a tickle, encouraged Miranda. But the other children were too scared. Penelope was a python after all, and pythons eat people. All of the pets were frightened too. The large dog yanked on his lead, sending his tiny owner flying. The goldfish tried to hide behind some water. That's not a very good idea. The tortoise made a rather slow run for it. The cute gerbil flashed her gnashes and didn't look so cute anymore. And the fat cat just carried on napping. Miranda slid all the way down her snake. The little girl tickled her python under the chin, and the snake smiled. See, she's very friendly. Soon everyone was gathered around to marvel at Penelope. The python loved the attention and made a climbing frame for the children to climb on, steps for them to step up. We'll have to turn my head sideways to read this bit. And a fireman's pole for them to slide back down. Penelope even helped the children learn their numbers, though she could only go up to 9. 1 plus 8 equals 9. This was turning into the best day of school ever. But then, Miss Bloat, the headmistress, thundered into the playground. "There's a snake in my school," she shouted. Miss Bloat didn't like animals much, or children. It's Bring Your Pet to School Day, spluttered Mr. Bright. And Penelope is my pet, said Miranda. Miranda, I should have known you would have to be different. A snake is not a pet, it's a menace, snapped Miss Bloat. Mr. Bright, all these filthy beasts are confiscated. All the girls and boys shouted, no! As the headmistress stuffed all of their pets into the lost property cupboard. Oh no, all the pets look sad. It's a real squash and a squeeze, except for Penelope the snake. Miss Bloat had other ideas for her. This disgusting thing is coming with me, bellowed the headmistress. And with that, she dragged the poor python along the corridor to her office. Where are you going to put Penelope? Asked Miranda. In the bin. No! Miss Bloat crammed the snake into her bin and slammed the lid shut. Then she plonked herself down on top so the python couldn't escape. The bin rattled and rattled, but Penelope was trapped. A snake in my school indeed. Get back to your lesson. She's a very grumpy head teacher. Maybe she should come and work at Wincham and be grumpy with all of the children. What do you think? Or maybe be grumpy with all the teachers. Tell Mrs. Davis and Mrs. Pugh-Jones and Mrs. Clark off. Downstairs in the classroom, tears rolled down Miranda's cheeks. All the children were sad to have had their pets taken away, but no one was sadder than Miranda. The little girl feared she would never see Penelope again. At the end of the day, Miranda dashed upstairs to Miss Bloat's office to try to make her change her mind. Knock, 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 knock. There was no answer. So slowly Miranda pushed open the door, only to see Penelope sitting in the headmistress's chair. Miranda ran towards her pet and gave her a humongous hug. Miss Bloat was nowhere to be seen, so the girl grabbed the key on the desk, ran to the lost property cupboard as fast as she could, and unlocked it. The animals were overjoyed to be set free. Whoosh! Then Miranda and all the pets slid down Penelope's back into the playgrounds. The children shouted, hooray! I'm not sure how a goldfish in a bowl slides down a snake, but she did. Penelope entertained everybody again. She made a seesaw for them to seesaw on, a swing for them to swing on, a wheel for them to roll in, and a skipping rope to skip with. Penelope even helped some of the younger children with the alphabet, although it was hard to do the letter X. As for Miss Bloat, she'd completely disappeared. So Mr. Bright was made headmaster. Now the children were allowed to bring in all their favourite animals whenever they wanted. The school became home to every sort of fantastic creature. An ostrich, a giraffe, a tiger, a gorilla, an elephant, a kangaroo, a crocodile, a grizzly bear, and even a colony of penguins. Now, I think that's a really good idea, children. So I am going to say to you all now that if you have a pet giraffe at home, only if it's a real, live, full-sized, grown-up giraffe, then you can bring it into school as well. And maybe an elephant, a real elephant. No cuddly ones, no plastic ones. Real, living giraffes and elephants are welcome at Wincham as well. But the star attraction was always Penelope, though Miranda had noticed there was something different about her python. There was a big bulge in the snake's tummy, a bulge in the shape of Miss Bloat. But the little girl thought it best not to say anything. Let me out! Oh my word! The snake had eaten the head teacher. No! Oh my word. I really, really hope that we don't have that problem at Wincham. I really, really hope that a snake doesn't come into school and eat me. So please don't bring pet snakes into school, because I would not like to be eaten like Miss Bloat was. I hope you had a lovely story, guys. See you all soon. Bye-bye.